William Whelan here for GetMoreSports.com, and after 8 years, Stanford and head basketball coach Johnny Dawkins have parted ways with the Stanford administration, informing him that just 1 year after a contract extension, he will not be returning to be the head coach at Stanford. So this brings about a couple questions. Number one, what is good enough at Stanford and what is not? Just a couple seasons ago, 3 seasons to be exact, Stanford makes it to the Sweet 16. They've won a pair of NIT championships, but that is not enough. This is a program, a school, a community that has seen their football team rise to national prominence under the right head coach. And so many people talk about limitations of recruiting that Stanford has. And in my mind, they don't have any limitations. Sure, there are certain guys that they can't get admitted to that school, but at the same time, no matter what living room in the country you walk into, when you have Stanford on your jacket, when you have the name Stanford behind you and the brand that carries, there's not a living room that you can't walk into in America and win over a family. Obviously, the kind of security that you provide from an academic standpoint, from a prestigious standpoint, I mean, it's hard to beat Stanford. And Johnny Dawkins had no problem recruiting with that in mind, bringing constant 4-star, constant 5-star talent into Palo Alto. That is not the problem at Stanford. They need a guy that can maximize the talent that they get. This is a conference with teams like Colorado and Utah, and even to a certain extent Oregon, who are not recruiting McDonald's All-Americans, yet they're finding ways to reach the NCAA tournament on a nearly yearly basis. Right now, Stanford is a lot like Washington. They're getting a lot of talent. They're not maximizing it. Stanford needs to separate themselves because just across the bay, you have Kunzo Martin putting together a program that is going to be reckoned with going forward because of the recruiting prowess that he's assembled. And those teams under head coach Martin have always performed best later in the season, even back to when he was at Tennessee. So you've got your local rival on the rise. You've got the Conference of Champions, as Bill Walton calls it, obviously moving forward quite well with the likes of Arizona, obviously. I mean, Washington's always going to be solid. Oregon gaining a number 1 seed. You've got to keep pace. And right now, Stanford has completely fallen behind under the leadership of Johnny Dawkins, one of the great guys in college basketball. Unfortunately, just did not win enough. It will be interesting to see what route they go to replace his services.